What's going on, everybody? I'm your host, the Carolina Collector. Before I begin, I want to say thank you to each and every single one of you for helping to make this channel possible. If you like what you see and you enjoy the content, I'd appreciate it if you would subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, comment in the comment section below, and hit the bell to receive notifications. I do have an eBay store called the Carolina Collector 001, and I also have a coffee link if you want to donate to the channel. Both links are in the description box below. Thank you so much, everybody. So, if you are a toy collector, or in my case, a Transformers collector, which is a primary staple of my collection, you'll probably recognize something like this. I'm sure many of you have something familiar like what I have here. A shelf, or shelves, or a bookshelf, or something filled up with Transformers toys, or, whatever it may be. I do have some He-Man down there. I got my Corgi buses down there. Over here on my lamp, I have Ghostbusters reissues, Big Trouble with Little China figures, and I got 2 Missing Link figures down on the bottom there. But I am a child of the 80s. I grew up with this stuff. I grew up with G.I. Joe, Voltron, Transformers, and Humanoids, Snorks, Smurfs, Captain Power, and the Soldiers of the Future, Pee-wee's Playhouse, Galaxy High, you name it, I grew up with it. I'm even wearing a 1980s reissue of the Baseball Bunch jersey, and an almost accurate hat. To find the logo hats are nearly impossible, so I got something that was very close to it. But that was a show about Little League and baseball, and about teamwork and cooperation. That was hosted by Johnny Bench, and he had many greats, such as Gary Carter and Ozzie Smith on the show. It was just an amazing show. Great, perfect 80s show. 80s cartoons and 80s shows are just remarkable. You don't see that type of stuff that has very little to no politics or any of the bullshit that you see in today's cartoons and TV shows. Everything's got to have political feces smeared all over it, and it's really sick if you ask me. But with all that being said, I am a child of the 80s, and I grew up with all of this stuff. And many of you will recognize some of the things that are up on the shelf, in particular the modern figures that we have today. This is why Gen 1ers or G1ers really get upset at the modern day fan base, because they show no respect and a lack of appreciation for those that did this already. I did this already. I don't have to have any of this. I do it because I want to. I do it because it's fun. It's a distraction, especially when I have things going on in my personal life. I'll grab one of these, futz around with it for a little bit, and put it back up on my shelf. I'm not on my floor like an overgrown child going pew 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 playing Transformers. I don't do that. Sorry. But with that being said, here's my collection for what it is. However, there are still Transformers that I have ordered for, and Transformers that I have not reviewed on the channel. So, with the exception of those, what you see here and what's on that shelf and what I have scattered across my apartment are basically my collection at this point in time. My collection's always morphing and changing. Recently, I reviewed the More Than Meets the Eye Hot Rod, which is right there. I ended up selling off the previous version because now I have him. He's more cartoon accurate. I got Studio Series Optimus Prime up there. You've already seen videos of me talking about my D16 Special eHobby exclusive G1 Megatron. That guy right there, my Goodbye Megatron, needs no introduction because that's what caused my live streams to go down. And now I've got my ability to live stream back. And I'm actually negotiating to get that live stream back. I have gotten in touch with YouTube, and we're working on it to see what happens. There might be a compromise. I did get my live streaming back. They caved because they knew they were wrong. But I want that live stream to be brought back. We'll see what happens with that. So we move past that issue. But again, this is my collection for what it is. It's not a lot. Many of you probably have 10, 12, 15 times more than what I have. It's a very modest collection because there are only certain characters I chase after. And not only that, I only have so much space here in my apartment that I can have a collection like this. But the one question I have not answered at all is which one is my favorite? Which one figure is my absolute favorite? And let me tell you, that is a question that I continue to wrestle with because I have no idea which one is my favorite because I like them all. Every one of them has their own quirks. They have their own gimmicks. Some of them are frustrating because the transformations are very complex and complicated. But each and every single one of them I like them in their own way individually. I can't pick one right off the top of my head. I can only choose one based on several factors. Nostalgia, ease of transformation, my personal feelings towards the franchise, its namesake, how it dredges up memories of my childhood, good or bad. So for me to pick a favorite, there would have to be very special, and in some cases not so special things, for me to actually choose one toy out of all of this that's here that would be my favorite. And I have made that choice based on those qualifications. Well, actually it's two, because they're essentially the same. But if I had to choose one toy out of all of them, and it's a toy that I never had as a kid. I got it later on as an adult. As a matter of fact, one of the first ones that I got as an adult is sitting right there on my shelf. New Year Convoy. And if you know who Convoy is, he needs no introduction. If you were to ask me what my favorite toy is, or toys are, on this shelf, it would have to be Missing Link Optimus Prime, CO1, and CO2. Now, why would I pick these two in particular? Again, I never had them as a kid, or at least the original Optimus Prime. Never had him as a kid. I wished I had Optimus Prime as a kid. I knew other kids that had him, but there weren't many. And I coveted him. Even when G2 Optimus Prime came out, no matter how many times I tried to acquire that figure back in the 90s, I could not get my hands on him. It took until the 2000s for me to get New Year Convoy, which is sitting right there. And I still have him to this day. But what is it about Missing Link Optimus Prime? Whether you have CO1 or CO2, what is it? I'm going to pick the toy version, which basically means he's accurate to the original G1 toy as far as the core is concerned. What they've done with the engineering with these guys, to have the arms move, the articulation, to the fact that these guys open up their hands, that they can move their legs like this, you can pose him, you can move his head in all different directions. There's nothing you can't really do with this guy, and by extension with CO2. But there's something special in this particular figure because Optimus Prime was like the Superman of the 80s. He was He-Man, he was Superman, he was Batman. He was Lion-O from the Thundercats. That's who he was. He was the main guy. And I never had him as a kid. Now I have him as an adult. And there's a certain magic involved with this particular toy because he is the epitome of the 80s. And when you watch the old school cartoons with Peter Cullen, this generation, I don't think, really appreciates the value that us old-timers, us boomers have when it comes to these collectibles and these toys. There has to be an air of respect. Yeah, I know sometimes a lot of G1ers poo-poo on the modern collectors and modern Transformers, but the torch must be passed on at some point. There are a lot of things that I don't like that they've done with these franchises, like pronouns, for example. I think it's ridiculous, robots are pronouns. Leave the fucking politics out of these franchises. That's what killed Star Wars. Leave these things alone. Leave the innocence alone. One of my favorite Transformers IPs is Transformers Prime because it's the closest that we got to OG Transformers, in my opinion. I didn't like Combiner Wars. I certainly did not like War for Cybertron. It was miserable. But that G1 charm, that's there. Up until Transformers the movie came out and they ended up, him. It still lingers to this day. But Optimus Prime definitely ranks the #1 collectible in my collection. That goes for Studio Series Optimus. That goes for the Walmart exclusives. That goes for my New Year's Convoy. And one day, if I'm ever able to get one, I might actually go out of my way to get an original G1. But they got knockoffs of G1 now at much cheaper prices compared to in-box copies of that thing. These guys are going for insane prices now, but they have knockoffs of these out there already that I can choose from. But fortunately, I was lucky to get mine at retail, plus shipping. No tariffs, by the way. But there's a certain innocence with this one toy that when I get so stressed out and life grabs a hold of me and holds on to me, and I'm feeling down, I'm feeling depressed, or maybe I've just had a long day and I want to sit down and watch some old G1 Transformers, I'll grab this guy. And it'll help me to reminisce and help take me out of whatever issue I'm going through. That's what this means to me. And I'm sure my fellow G1ers that are around my age, if you're like in your mid-40s, into your 50s, probably mid-50s at this point, you'll know that feeling. You'll get that nostalgic buzz, that ooze, the goo. Nothing beats a G1 Optimus Prime. Especially a missing link Optimus Prime. What this guy can do to bend at his knees and do all this kind of stuff. But he's just an example of modern times. It's the figure in and of himself. Generation 1, G1 Optimus. Which, I'll pull my New Year Convoy off of my shelf because he's the closest I got to an actual G1 toy. Yeah, he's a brick. He's not articulated, except in the arms and in the legs. You can kick back and all that kind of stuff. But there's a charm about this. Mine is upgraded, by the way, with a long, outstanding, overdue upgrade kit, which I think needs to have a modern twist to it, because I've been seeing these upgrade kits go for probably like $100 or more at this point, which is insane. But lucky I got mine when I did. And he's got the proper rifle and all that stuff, his ion blaster, what have you. But there's a charm about this. This is the closest that I have to a G1, a true G1 Optimus, except for my Walmart exclusive. That's color corrected. And of course, you know the struggle of taking these figures off your shelf and putting them back on, I'm sure. You touch one, they all want to come down. And there's the Walmart exclusive. I wish that they did a missing link version of this guy. This would be, in my opinion, the ultimate Optimus Prime if he had the missing link components added to him. But he still has a charm about him, and I appreciate it. And I think that's why a lot of Transformers G1 fans really resent Beast Wars. Truck not monkey, you know the saying. G1 Optimus Prime. Nothing beats G1 Optimus Prime in my opinion. He is the epitome of Transformers. He is the head honcho, the big boss, the big kahuna. And I'm very happy to have these two in my collection. What's your favorite Transformer collectible in your collection? Why do you collect these in the first place? Let me know in the comments section below. I'm your host, the Carolina Collector. Take care, everybody.